The Ondo State off-cycle election, scheduled for November 16, 2024, is shaping up to be a highly contested race. The election is expected to be a two-horse race between the APC and the PDP, with 15 others vying for the top spot. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has published a final list of candidates, and over 2.053 million registered voters are eagerly awaiting the outcome. On Nigeria Today, we will look at the issues in the Ondo election. I'm Ikeria Clinton. Thanks for joining us, and this is Nigeria Today. Joining us to discuss for this conversation tonight is Umar Farouk Lawal. He's a political affairs analyst. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much.
Also joining us for the conversation via Zoom from Ondo State is Paul James. He's the Director Elections, Yaga Africa. Paul, it's good to have you in Nigeria Today.
Thank you for the invitation. Good evening, Ikeria.
I'll start with you. Can you please tell us what the atmosphere is like in Ondo State? I know you've been there for a while now.
Yeah, I've been in Ondo, I think, since 28th of October. And I would say the atmosphere is suspiciously calm. I mean, positive. What we saw in Ondo is that political campaign actually started late. That is public campaigns by political parties. Most of them did not start engaging until the 15th of October.
Okay, we lost Paul there, but we'll get him back. Now, Farouk, tell us, what are some of the major concerns, or what are the key factors that will be shaping the Ondo State elections?
As a matter of fact, I believe the people of Ondo State are fully ready with their PVC to go and cast their vote. And I believe that the Progressive Party, APC, we are going to win that election. I'm fully optimistic that we are going to win our election.
We know we have other political parties vying for the top spot.
I agree, because you see, when we talk of the political parties we have in this country, Nigeria, when you talk of APC, we are exceptional, and we reach out to everywhere we
Farouk, I hope you're not campaigning here.
No, I'm not campaigning. Okay. I'm just telling you that the INEC will conduct the election. It's going to be peaceful, by God's grace. And the atmosphere in Ondo for now is calm, and everybody is ready to go and cast his vote on Saturday.
Now, let's talk about the voter turnout. What efforts can be put in place to ensure that we have a large turnout of voter? Because from the records, we have over 2 million voters, registered voters, that are waiting to cast their vote.
It's sensitization. The INEC and the political parties involved are going to sensitize their people to come out for the election. And I believe that all the parties will have to canvass for more votes, and they are going to come out in numbers.
Okay, we understand that Paul James is back. So, Paul, you were saying something about the atmosphere, and of course, what are the expectations of the Ondo people?
Thank you, Ikera. Network glitch. Yes, so like I was saying, APC started their public campaign around the 15th of October, and then PDP also followed suit. Other parties have also been engaging. 18 political parties are on the ballot. There's another party that INEC had to add last minute, the NRM, just like we also saw in Edo the last time. So they have been engaging, but like I have said, the campaigns, of course, are the usual rhetoric that we have used to seeing in the political arena, attacks on personalities and all of that. But other stakeholders as well, the Electoral Commission, as well as even CSOs, they have intensified campaigns. INEC has been very forthright and engaging also with a different spectrum of the stakeholders, holding meetings, testing even the beavers. INEC conducted mock accreditation on the 5th of November across 12 locations in 6 local governments, which was successful, though turnout was low, and we didn't also see participation of political parties. Over 12,000 beavers will be deployed for the election. 4,002 will be deployed at the polling units, while INEC said they will keep another 8,012 in their own reserve. So as for the boxes that you expect to see checked in the election, I will say so far, we have seen that commitment from the stakeholders, from INEC, from political parties also. They committed to peace. There was a peace accord signing that happened on Thursday last week. And I mean, stakeholder meeting that happened on Thursday last week, and then that followed with the peace accord on Friday. And I attended both events, and I could see the determination or the commitment of the political parties in those engagements to also foster or promote peaceful election. I had the opportunity with my team to interact or interface with the Commissioner of Police in the state, the Commandant of the Nigeria Civil Society, NSCDC, and as well as IPAC, that also have very good representatives from all the political parties in the state. And on all of this engagement, I can tell you, based on the level of effort or commitment that we have seen from them, I think we should expect a good election. On the part of the commission, there is something that has been constant from the chairman of the commission. He said the people of Ondo should expect a different or a good election this time. He said logistics will improve, deployment of the technology will also improve. So we want to hold INEC by this commitment of the chair. And I think we are beginning to see also some positive sign. On Monday this week, there was a deployment of the sensitive materials to the CBN. And then, they are currently being batched by local government. I think by tomorrow, all of this also will be dispatched to the local government. We have raised concerns about the riverine communities of Eseodo and Elijah, where we want to see early deployment of materials and early commencement of polls. The commission had committed to also change those negative narratives about the election. They have intensified engagement with the National Union of Road Transport Workers and also the Maritime Union. Based on this level of effort that we see, like I will continue to say, we are expecting that we're going to have a different or a good elections in Ondo.
Paul, still on you. Apart from the interface you had with the police, and of course, like you mentioned, recently there was a peace accord, the signing of a peace accord by all the political parties. Now, what have you observed in terms of the campaigns by the political parties? Are they keeping to this peace accord from their utterances and every other thing?
So if you compare the pre-election environment for 2024 with the pre-election environment that we observed in 2020, 2020 was almost like a theater of war. Based on our Yaga Africa's report in the pre-election of 2020, 12 of the 18 local government were classified as hotspots with different shades of pre-election related issues or violence. But this time around, like I said, the environment here had been relatively calm. So far, there have been only 2 incidents reported. One from Ose local government, case of kidnapping at some point that happened last month or thereabout, and also in the federal local government, communal clashes. In our engagement with the police commissioner in the state told us that those have been addressed adequately, and that the security agencies have been closing ranks to ensure that this does not repeat. One thing that we have observed actually is the level of the sort of inter-agency cooperation that we have seen between the major security agencies that will police the election, the NSCDC and the Nigerian police. Perhaps the political maturity also on the part of the political party, that there have been no major incident reported from the rally. For me, I think it showed the level of civility in the election. That's not saying that there are no other indicators of election-related violence. For instance, intimidation and harassments are happening at campaign rallies and all of that, but you don't hear of any death or any major incident associated with the political rallies. There have been skirmishes here and there, like the destruction of billboards or campaign posters, But like I will keep saying, I think we have seen a better or a much improved pre-election environment as compared to what has been the case in the past. So hopefully they will carry this sort of maturity to the polling units on election day, and maybe the fruits of the peace signing accord, the commitment that they have made during the peace signing accord, will bear fruits on November 16th, even beyond November 16th.
Okay, now thank you very much, Paul. Now back to you, Farouk. You had, of course, what Paul said. They're talking about, the Commission's commitment towards ensuring that we have a free and fair election. Now, in your own opinion, what measures should be in place to ensure that the election results reflect the will of the people, without any technical hitch?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my brother has earlier given you a report from Ondo now that the INEC chairman has already deployed so many Vivas machine and so many bags that ballot box that they are going to deploy it from tomorrow, and I believe those materials are already in Ondo as of this night, and by tomorrow the INEC Electoral Commission chairman in Ondo we reach out to all the polling units by tomorrow night. In the morning, the election will commence. And I believe this election is going to be very, very peaceful because there's no, compared to the last election in Ondo and the present one, you should know that they are going to be peaceful election. And election materials are already on ground. There's no any party that is crying out that they will be rigging, or these election materials are not on ground until tomorrow. Maybe if there's any outcry from Ondo people and the people that are going to vote, maybe on Saturday.
Okay, back to you, Paul. Now, I know you were also in Edo State. Looking at the situation in Ondo State, how can you, in terms of preparations and, generally speaking, what improvement have you seen in Ondo State that you did not, see in Edo State?
Well, when I say improvement, maybe it's just the, like I will keep saying, the maturity that we have seen in the state. Campaigns started later than expected. The parties have about 180 days to campaign. Most of them waited until October to start public engagement. So for me, actually, while I'm optimistic that it will be a good election, I was apprehensive when I see that campaigns were delayed, because part of my thought process was, I hope they are not saving up to induce or buy votes on election day, which has become like the practice of what we saw also in the Edo election, because the level of political engagement or campaign engagement, as we had expected, I would say has been a bit low. Though the public campaigns, like I said, had happened in the last 1 month, but you expected more engagement from the political parties. But that notwithstanding, all the checks that you wanted to see, for instance, what could have also have impacted the election in Edo would have also been the issue of logistics, which can also be attributed to the kind of road networks that we have in Edo. There was the challenge of transport or transporting electoral materials. But to a large extent, what we have also seen on the ground here is that the road network is relatively better than what we have in Edo, and also the early commencement of electoral engagement by the Commission. The Commission, for instance, this is the first time in a long time that we are seeing them deploy sensitive materials on a Monday. Usually it comes around on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday. By Thursday, they start deploying to the local government. But this time they received them early enough in the state. And also even in the engagement with these transport workers and the level of commitment also from the transport workers. Those engagements happen at different levels, and they also commenced those engagements earlier than they did in the Edo election. So for me, those are good or positive signs that, some lessons have been learned. Like the commission chair will say that they have learned lessons from the other election, and they hope to give the people of Ondo a better election. He said we are going to see improvement in election logistics. We are going to see improvement in the upload of election results and also in the management of elections at the polling unit level. So we are holding them to that. If you look at the Edo election, largely the problems were not even at the polling unit, though there were delayed commencement of polls. But INEC was able to manage the situation and extended voting in some locations. The problem with Edo was largely during the results collation. So we will keep an eye on that. The commission had made a commitment that they are going to improve on the results collation and results upload process. For us as CSOs, stakeholders in the process, we are going to focus attention now that we are seeing what is happening in the build-up to the election. These are giving us positive sign, but we will not also just go to rest and think that everything will just be okay. Our goal for this election is that it is credible, it is free, it is transparent, and most importantly, also inclusive. So even in terms of access to polling unit for persons with disability and also availability of voting materials for persons with disability and all of that, we want to see how the commission and its staff will apply that on election day.
Yeah, still on you, Paul, before we'll let you go. I know earlier on you mentioned your interface with the police. Now tell us, from what you observed in terms of security, what can you see on ground?
Well, like I said, there have been every major incident reported, and we have seen the level of coordination between the security agencies in the state. For me, I have not seen this sort of connection between security agencies in a very long time. All of them seem to be talking with the same voice. We didn't even meet them as a collective. We meet them at their different, in their different respective commands. It's always like they all have the same template for operation or having the same sort of engagement. So, and then the openness also, to be honest, the sincerity of efforts that we have seen, the willingness to share information or to engage with stakeholders, I think it is also highly commendable. We got some of our friends that are in town, the Inclusive Friends Association, that told us yesterday they went to see the INEC President Electoral Commissioner, and she welcomed them with open arms. I was just wondering in my mind, just a few days to the election, INEC still has time to be engaging or interfacing with stakeholders. I think for me, that is hugely, hugely commendable. Last week also, there was a press conference by the CSOs in the association of the CSOs we have in Ondo, that will be observing the election, where to a large extent they passed a vote of confidence on the commission and the resident electoral commissioner here, and also asked political parties to continue to display this sort of maturity in the political engagement in the state. So we are hoping that with all of this efforts here and there, like I will keep saying, that this election will be better than the one we have seen in 2020.
Thank you very much, Paul. Now to you, Farouk. Yes. Of course, Paul has said quite a lot of things that have been put in place to ensure we have a peaceful, credible and peaceful election. Now, from your point of view, what role can the traditional rulers and community influencers play in ensuring credible and peaceful election? Because we've talked so much about what the commission is doing, what the security agencies are doing, but the people.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we want to appeal to the traditional rulers, the CSOs, and other political players in the state to shift their sword. Violence is not the answer. Go to the polling unit, vote, and you go home. And by God's grace, we believe with what INEC is putting in place, things is going to go as it's supposed to be. Elections should be conducted credibly and fine, without any itches, without any bloodshed. That is what we always preach. And as a matter of fact, I want to call on the police to make sure they put things in order, to make sure there's no crisis, there's no ballot box snatching, there's not killing of people unnecessarily. They should not be bullying. They should allow the citizen to come out and vote amicably and let them go back, and then INEC should make sure that there's transparency in the election. that is going to happen.
Thank you very much. Now, Paul, can you please, let us give us a picture of how effective, voter education campaign has been so far?
Well, we have been on ground. Our long-term observers have been observing and documenting engagement by stakeholders since September 18. It picked up, there was an incremental engagement of voters, especially the voter education, but it picked up more in the last 2 weeks, where we see engagement by INEC, by National Orientation Agency, and also by the civil society in the state. In fact, I was with the National Orientation Agency. My team and I were there some 2 weeks ago, where they played the jingles to us to listen that has been playing also in the radio stations in the state, simply just encouraging people to go engage and also to maintain a peaceful campaign or peaceful engagement. And with, some encouragement like election will come and go. Ondo is the state they have, and Ondo will continue to remain even after November 16th. For me, those are good or positive signs. And also from the CSO community, that have been targeted engagement of especially the special interest group, women, youth, and persons with disability. The Iyaloja, for instance, even in the interaction with her group have also been doing a lot of political mobilization or political engagement with also their own cohort. Like I said, the marginalized community, or if you like, community of persons with disability also have been doing their own efforts to encourage participation. One of the concerns that they keep raising in their own political public engagement is the fact about accessibility to polling units, which I'm sure also the Commission have heard. So we hope to see how INEC is going to set up polling units, especially in locations that will be accessible to persons with disability, and also to place the ballot boxes where the persons with disability will be able to access. But I think to a large extent, I will say the level of voter education has been commendably high by the different stakeholders, like I said, the CSOs, INEC, and also National Orientation Agency, but it can still never be enough. I mean, this medium is also another opportunity to continue to encourage people to go out on November 16 and participate in the election.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. And Farouk, will you just give us your final thought on these issues in the election?
I want to use this privilege to advise the civil society groups to reach out more to people so that they can conduct free, fair, and credible election. And we want to call on the security agency, especially the police and the civil defense, they should make sure that the election is peaceful and calm. And at the same time, the INEC resident commissioner, please, she should make sure that all the polling units election has been recorded from the polling unit till the collection sector, so that there will not be any going to court and say this one did not win, this one did not win. Because we are in Nigeria, when you win election, they will tell you rig. And once you lose election, nobody will come and tell you that why didn't you rig. So I am urging and calling on all political parties to make sure that they encourage their followers not to go on thuggery and causing havoc, burning down the state, because they don't have any state to call Ondo State except the Ondo State. So the people of Ondo State and the traditional ruler and the CSO should remain calm and resolute.
Thank you very much. All hands on deck. And this is where we end today's episode of the program. A very big thank you to Umar Farouk Lawal, a political affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution. And via Zoom from Ondo, we had Paul James. He's Director Elections, Yaga Africa. Paul, thank you so much for your time and your contribution.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you for being part of the program. I'm Ikaria Clinton. Goodbye.